Training camp is officially underway, and for every true fan of the Las Vegas Raiders, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. After months deconstructing off-season rumors, speculating on draft picks, analyzing position battles, and just flat-out missing football, it's finally here, the return of Raiders football in the month of July. And yes, it's just rookie camp right now, but the pads are coming soon. And that feeling of anticipation is starting to turn into something real. You can almost smell the grass, hear the pads cracking, and feel the pulse of the Raider Nation kicking into gear. The rookie training camp kicks off today. Dia Dzesi di Julho, and with it comes a whole new wave of excitement. It's more than just a date on the calendar. It's a signal that football is back. For a franchise like the Raiders, with so much riding on a new era under new leadership, every single practice matters. It's where jobs are won, depth charts begin to take shape, and we start to see which players are ready to make that leap from promising draft pick to legitimate NFL contributor. And while we'll get to the veterans reporting on the Vinti Idois di Julho today, it's all about the rookies, and trust me, there's a lot to look out for. Let's talk about the obvious storyline first, the location. There were some whispers in the air recently about the Raiders possibly returning to Napa for training camp, something that would have definitely stirred up some nostalgia among fans. Napa had been the Raiders' longtime home for camp practices, and many fans associate that place with some classic summers from the team's history. But for this year, the team's staying put in Henderson, Nevada, and there are some pretty valid reasons why. From what's been gathered over the past few months, the practice fields in Napa would need significant upgrades to meet current NFL standards, and that alone makes it a logistical nightmare. Add that to the fact that the coaching staff believes that staying in Henderson provides a better opportunity for team bonding and continuity, especially under a new regime, and the decision becomes a no-brainer. Pete Carroll, who's no stranger to shaping cohesive locker rooms, believes this new group needs that extra time together, that close proximity, to really build chemistry. And let's face it, when you're bringing in a whole new system, coaching philosophy, and culture, keeping everything centralized makes a lot of sense. Not to mention, the preseason travel schedule plays a role. Henderson offers smoother operations when it comes to prepping for games and managing the physical demands on players. So even though the dream of a Napa return might still be floating around for future seasons, this year, it's all about building the future in Nevada now. As we look at these early days of camp, all eyes are on the rookies. These are the guys who need to show something, not just to make the roster, but to carve out real roles. And even though veterans won't be in until next week, there are still some second-year players and bottom-of-the-roster names participating. Now, these are the dudes who already showed up for rookie mini-camp post-draft. And even if they aren't technically rookies, they're fighting like hell for a chance. This is their time to make an impression before the vets come in and the competition really heats up. Let's start with a name that's been buzzing since the draft, Charles Grant. This offensive tackle had an insane Pro Football Focus grade of 9.2 last season, the highest of any player in college football. That alone puts a spotlight on him. But what's even more interesting is how his performance could directly influence the future of Kolton Miller. If Grant shows out in camp and looks like a legitimate future starter, you might start hearing whispers about the Raiders potentially holding off on a long-term extension for Miller. That's the kind of domino effect a promising rookie can have. Still, people around the league are saying Grant's got the tools, but is nowhere near ready for primetime NFL action. He's a project, a talented one, but still raw. This camp is going to be about measuring how far along he really is, and whether the Raiders' confidence in him is truly justified. Another player turning heads, and for very different reasons, is Laki Tassi. This guy's got one of the most unique stories on the roster. He's an International Pathway Program player, originally brought in as a defensive tackle, but now converted to offensive guard. That's a massive transition, both literally and figuratively. Standing next to monsters like Jackson Powers Johnson and Kolton Miller, Tassi doesn't look out of place physically, but it's going to be all about technique and learning the position. He's a long shot to make the final 53. But the beauty of the IPP rules means he can stay on the practice squad for free, a low-risk, high-reward move for the team. Everyone wants to see if he can hang on the O-line, and training camp is going to tell us a lot. Then there's Cody Lindenberg, a name that's popping up in linebacker conversations. He was given the green dot in minicamp, the sign that he was calling plays on defense, and if he keeps that role, it speaks volumes about how much trust this staff already has in him. He's going to be battling against guys like Tommy Eichenberg for a spot, and considering the Raiders already have veterans like Jermaine Pratt, Landon Roberts, and Dion White locked in, there's only so much room. Lindenberg has to prove he belongs, and not just as a special teams body. He's got to flash instincts, speed, leadership, all of it. If he does, he could be pushing Eichenberg out of the picture, and that would open up new doors for someone like Amari Gaynor to sneak in. There's always one undrafted free agent that manages to stir things up, and this year, that guy might be John Joyner. He's not the flashiest athlete out there, but he's got that ability to rush the passer in short bursts. He's not someone you want on the field for early downs against the run, but if you're looking for someone to pin his ears back on third down and get after the quarterback, Joyner might have something. He reminds people of a budget version of Malcolm Kuntz, which for a UDFA isn't bad company. Some analysts had him with a 5th-round grade coming into the draft, and he could be the one that sneaks onto the final roster at the last second. Now, one of the more intriguing players from a football IQ standpoint is Tommy Mellott. This dude does everything. He's lined up at wide receiver, quarterback, played special teams. Hell, if you asked him to be a long snapper, he'd probably give it a shot. Mellott is a pure football player in the old-school sense. He's athletic, he's smart, and he wants it. The big question is how the Raiders plan to use him. Will he compete for a slot role? Will he be a gadget guy on offense? Or is he just there to be a weapon on kick returns and punt coverage? If it comes down to him or someone like Dylan Lowy, it's going to be a tough call, but with Mellott's versatility and tenacity, you can't count him out. That's just scratching the surface of what's happening in Raiders rookie camp this week. These early practices are setting the tone for everything that's coming next. The vets will report soon. The preseason is right around the corner, and decisions are going to start flying in every direction. From the outside looking in, this might just feel like routine July football, but for these players, this is the beginning of everything. A shot at a roster spot, a career in the NFL, a chance to wear the silver and black and make an impact on one of the most passionate fan bases in the sport. And whether it's a top pick or an undrafted grinder, every rep, every drill, every coach's note matters. The competition is on, and now we shift the spotlight to the upper echelon. The top 5 rookies to watch as Raiders training camp unfolds. These are the players carrying the highest expectations, the most intrigue, and in some cases, the most pressure. Let's not waste time. This is where it starts getting real for the guys expected to make noise immediately. Starting at number 5, we've got Tonka Hemingway, drafted in the 4th round. Hemingway didn't generate the same immediate buzz as some of his fellow draftees. But don't be fooled, there's serious potential here. What stands out with Tonka is his versatility. He's what coaches love to call a tweener, a guy who can line up in multiple spots depending on the package. That flexibility can be both a blessing and a curse. It means more opportunities to get on the field, but it also means he needs to prove he can master each role and not get lost in the shuffle. One reliable voice inside the locker room noted that both Hemingway and fellow rookie J.J. Pegas are doing the right things, which is encouraging. But it also means that both players still have a lot of growing to do before they can be counted on in game situations. The Raiders already have veterans like Jonnu Liu and Zachary Carter in the rotation, and it's going to take something special to surpass them. But Hemingway has the right mindset, and that alone gives him a shot. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could become one of the most shocking moves of the NFL offseason, rumors are swirling that Pittsburgh Steelers star linebacker T.J. Watt is set to leave the Steel City and sign with the Las Vegas Raiders in a reported mega deal. While no official confirmation has been made by either team or Watt's representatives, multiple sources close to the situation suggest that negotiations have reached advanced stages, with the Raiders willing to break the bank to land the former Defensive Player of the Year. Whispers of Watt's potential departure began earlier this week, when he was noticeably absent from team activities in Pittsburgh. Speculation intensified after a cryptic social media post hinted at a major life change. Insiders now believe the move to Las Vegas could be imminent, with reports suggesting that the contract on the table could be among the largest ever awarded to a defensive player in league history. The Raiders, who have struggled defensively in recent years, appear poised to make a bold statement, Adding Watt would not only elevate their pass rush, but also inject leadership and championship mentality into a team desperate to return to postseason relevance. If the deal goes through, pairing Watt with Max Crosby could instantly transform the Raiders' defense into one of the most feared units in the league. As for the Steelers, losing a franchise cornerstone like Watt would mark the end of an era. Drafted in 2017, Watt quickly became the face of Pittsburgh's defense, racking up accolades, sacks, and respect across the league, while his departure would undoubtedly leave a void. Some analysts believe this could signal a broader rebuilding phase for Mike Tomlin's squad. Though nothing is confirmed, the NFL world is already buzzing. Could this be the next blockbuster move of the offseason? Only time will tell, but for now, fans in Pittsburgh are holding their breath, and those in Las Vegas are starting to dream big. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.